Guys, and welcome back to Total Oz Spurs for another match review of Forest versus Spurs. And then later on, we're going to be doing a bit of a preview for the West Ham game. That's tomorrow morning for us, afternoon for you fellas back in England. We won't be doing a watch along for it purely because we all work. We'll be watching at work, but we just unfortunately can't do the watch along. But you can catch us on Sunday morning or midday Saturday in England for the watch along game against Fulham. I've got Lee and Brad here today with me. Hey boys, how you going?
Yeah, good fellas. I'm doing good. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm going good, boys. Going good. It's been a busy week at work. How about you?
Yeah, it's been good. So let's get to it. 2-0. My thoughts on the game were that we played fairly average. Once again, sparked up a bit when Richie came on. Sonny was once again very, very, I'd say, fatigued. For me, it looks fatigued. Everyone says out of form, but I think he's just tired. Um, Perisic looked good once again. Sanchez looked good once again. I felt like Højbjerg did a lot better than the game against Wolves. And
Definitely.
Harry Kane, we'll get back onto him a bit later. But how do you boys feel about the game?
Yeah, nah, it was a
Yeah,
good, honestly, good game. Um, started off well. Started off really well. Started off better than the Wolves. Wish we could have got a few more goals. But as you said, Richie came on. That assist, the juggle was just class, I feel. And everyone's saying that Richie was showboating. It wasn't. He was just showing that he controlled the game. So yeah, that's my
yeah,
thoughts on the game.
yeah. Look, for me, I think it was a decent performance. It wasn't one of our best, but it was a tight performance. To be fair, a few boys for me showed up more than others. As well as what you said, Jay, about Sanchez. Look, Sanchez has done well in the last few times he's been on. I know we're missing Romero, but I think he's filled that void quite well. Um, Richarlison, you can see it in the last couple of games when he's come on. He's looked hungry, and he looks like he deserves to be on that pitch and be in that starting 11. Yes, Son's a bit fatigued. I personally think that Kane should have given Son that penalty, just to give him that boost. Maybe Son would have sunk that penalty, which for Kane it was a sort of a standard penalty. We knew where he was going before even the keeper did. And he broke his streak as well, which is a good streak to be fair. But yeah, I think he should have just handed over to Son, gone, look, you take this penalty, get yourself back into scoring, and maybe he would have changed his ways. And Son went off, he got taken off and he wasn't happy, which I get that. He wants to stay on the field and try and be a part of it and get that goal. But when Richie come on with that cross outside of the boot, come on. We watched that in slow motion. I know I did. And it was a proper good header from Kane. We did start off quite strong, but then it sort of died down, and I thought Højbjerg was good. He done some silly passes, but in all, I think we played well. Whereas Son, and as well as Son, he could have squared it to Perisic. Perisic was open. He was flapping his arms, but he always tries to look for Kane. Whereas he needs to open his eyes and look, beyond. Perisic was there. He's got good timing. I reckon he would have buried that. But I just think it's about building together. New team, new season. Let's just build together and get on with it. But I wasn't too mad, to be fair. Nottingham Forest, they've had a big transfer this year, coming up into the Premier League as well. But and we can't just sleep with them. They played very well. They did. They had one shot on target, which was good. Not from a perfect Spurs performance, but we still kept them to one shot on target. So you can take the good with the bad, I think.
Mm.
Yeah, and I did say on the watch along that I felt that Kane should have done what Ramos did for Morata at Real Madrid when Morata was struggling with goals and he couldn't seem to score a goal, and they got a penalty, and Ramos took it off. I can't remember if it was their penalty taker, but he took it off and gave it to Morata and told him, "You bury that."
Yeah,
Um, and when he did, Morata went on to score a couple more goals. He was a bit better in form. He even thanked Ramos, and I felt like that was a moment where Kane. I know he's hunting for that top goal scorer in the PL ever. Alan Shearer. He just
Yeah.
he hit 100 and I think it's 187. So he's joint
Yep.
third with Andy Cole. So I know he's hunting for that achievement, but I feel like if it's a team man, I think it's harsh to say he shouldn't have taken it, considering he banged in 21 of 21 of his previous
Yeah.
penalties. And but I feel like that would have been a statement. If Son got that goal, I feel like Son would have just lifted, and
Yeah.
maybe Richie still would have came on and looked good. But I feel like we'd have been saying, "Oh, we can't wait for Son to start next week." And in saying that, Conte has come out and hinted that he could be starting Richarlison the next couple of games, purely because we're now hitting the midweek games.
Yeah.
Obviously, West Ham's tomorrow or today if you're back in the UK, and then we hit Champions League next week. So that's a good time for rotation. I feel like it's what Conte was going to do anyway. I just
Yeah.
felt like Forest would have been the game that he put Richarlison starting. But I guess if Richarlison's on fire and Sonny isn't at the moment, playing him against Fulham is probably the best way for Sonny to score. But at the same time, Fulham are playing a lot better than West Ham at the moment.
Yeah.
Brad, anything
Yep.
else to add to that?
Nah, not really. Just Sanchez taking over that Romero role while Romero's injured. He's been beast.
Well, I
Under
think he
Conte.
hasn't conceded a goal in 900 minutes, which
Yeah. Yeah.
equates to 10 games. So
Yeah,
10
you know
games
what?
he's played,
And
no
for
conceded
Sanchez,
goals.
look, let's be honest. Everyone has their dig at Sanchez. When he makes a mistake, everyone harps on about Sanchez. But I think he's been quite solid, to be honest. Even the end of last season, he was showing that he's solid in defense. And it carries on to this season as well. Like I think he's adapted well under Conte, and he's adapted well to his role. Like he's not scared to make that run or make a tackle. Whereas before he made a tackle, he'll get a card. He'll force the penalty or the free kick. Whereas now, like I think he's sort of learned his strengths and weaknesses, and he's using it, and he's using it very well. To be honest, I was a bit iffy about Sanchez being in that role, but I think he stood up very well, and the stats show it. They do. It shows. So hats off to Sanchez. He's put in the hard work, and I hope he keeps going. To be fair.
No, that's exactly right. Like he's just for 10 games, clean sheet by him on the field. That's a big achievement,
Yeah.
especially for someone who, 2 years ago was having not a great season.
Shocker.
Conte's come in, put faith in him, and he's honestly, if he was at the back, I'm not worried at all. I'm happy he's back there.
I mean, he has those moments where
Yeah.
he scares
Everyone
us.
does though. Everyone does.
What I think it's helped him a lot is his recovery and his pace that he
Yep.
still
Yeah.
holds. That's
Yeah.
Dyer and Davies don't have, and even Romero. Romero is a bit quicker than Dyer and Davies, but I feel like Sanchez's speed has kind of helped him when there has been mistakes, and he's been the sweeper. If you haven't noticed,
Yeah.
every time we played, now it's not. I remember I was losing my shit that Dyer wasn't running towards. Might have been it was against Wolves last week where they were on the 6-yard line and they turned and that's when Larissa came out and
Yeah.
then he ran back to his line. And I'm like, why isn't Dyer sprinting towards that?
Moving up.
And
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
realized that Sanchez is the dedicated sweeper. So
Yeah.
when they're coming in and they're getting behind the line, he's coming across and sweeping because of his pace. And I must admit, he's been very, very good at timing his sliding tackles to not give away penalties.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
last year when Nuno was here, I
it
think
was
Nuno
bad.
just had that. He gave with that whole mentality of if you're not in the first 11, you're not going to get in the first 11.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel like Richarlison Sanchez knows that if he plays well and he really impresses, and Romero comes back and doesn't impress, Conte's going to stick him in. The same with Sessegnon and Perisic. Sess wasn't doing much.
No.
And then we all knew Perisic was going to be the main winger this year. We all know that Sess is going to be the understudy. Sess came on, and I feel like he did press a bit more. I feel like he could have done better with the pass. He just held onto the ball too long. I feel like he could have rolled it to Kane a lot earlier. I was losing my shit about it because that's one of his. He just takes too long to give that ball across.
Yeah.
But Sanchez is having a great season so far. I'm now thinking that we don't need a backup centre back because
No.
Langley can cover Dyer
Mm.
and can cover Davies, whichever one's out. And if
Yep.
they're
Yeah.
both out, we can stick Sanchez in the middle, or well, I'd prefer Sanchez in the middle purely because he's a bit less erratic than what
Yeah.
Romero is.
Yeah, we've also got Jaffet too, don't we? But still, I've seen him on the bench on the weekend.
Yeah, but I think he might be going out on loan. But I
On
think that
loan,
was
yeah.
the plan. But I think Conte's been told we're not going to get a centre back. I
Mm.
think from what I'm hearing, Mora might be leaving,
Oh,
and we might be getting another winger. Which for me, if Mora's leaving, I'd rather, keep him and stick one of the right wing
I'd
backs
rather
on.
lose. I'd rather
Yeah.
lose Royale over Mora. To be fair,
Well,
Actually, no, to be fair, Royal played good.
Royale's
He
been
did.
playing well. He's been
He
playing well.
just
and you
hasn't
can
got
see-
that quality.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he
That's
doesn't,
right.
Quality.
Well, look at
And that's-
Royale. Compared to last season, even us three were saying the exact same thing. He's not good enough. He
Mm.
hasn't got that. He looks a bit sloppy on the ball, but in the last few games, like Royale, even towards the back end of last season, Royale did step up. And his crosses are not always on point, but he's adapted and he's developing. So I'm not too mad about Royale, to be fair.
Well, we got to
exactly,
remember he's young still, and he's a very defensive winger.
Yeah.
He's kind of like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, where he
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
attack, but all he can do is defend. But the thing with
Yeah.
Aaron is that he hasn't progressed in the years he's been at United as the main right
Yeah.
back, and obviously they're playing as a right back role. And it's a bit harder when he was playing there. It's a bit harder for him to be that box to box, sideline to
Yeah.
sideline winger. But
Yeah.
with Royal, I feel like he is trying. He's trying to get into those spaces, and he is getting into them. It's just I think he's hasn't got that mindset of, like, as I said, Trippier. If he
Yeah.
if some of the time when Cooley's rolling that ball back and it's just Royal there, if it was Trippier, his first time crossing that straight in the box.
Oh,
Doesn't
he
matter
pings
if
it,
Kane's not even ready, he's putting it in there.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
Royal's like, I got the ball, go back to the midfield, and that's where I feel
Yeah.
like the transition, and that's why I did say I wanted a new right wing back, purely because the creativity is meant to come from the wings, and Perisic is providing a lot of it, but he can't provide it all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
And with Son not on it,
Mm.
if Son's starting with Perisic, it's kind of like just having Perisic there, and Son's kind of just in that lull because he's out of
He's
form.
just there for a touch of the ball. That's all he's there for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
I
what?
did-
Even saying that, like Son, like he had a few good chances against Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, it's
I
just
felt bad
that.
for him.
It's just that. It's
Confidence.
not confidence. It's that luck. He hasn't
Yeah,
had that luck
right.
where with that rebound where he shot it
Yeah.
straight at Henderson. If that was end of last year, he was curling that in
He
the
would
back
have
of
banged
the
it.
net.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
would have banged
It's just he's that frustrated that I think he's just snatching that goal,
He's
trying to snatch at a
overthinking it.
goal.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's over, like he's not overthinking it, but he's kind of his body's overthinking it. Where he's like, I've got to score, I've got to keep my form again.
overcompensating.
We've got Champions League. I want to win the league this year. I want to challenge, And I also think it's tiredness. I think his just body needs a bit of a rest, and that's why I'm not
I'm
scared of
hoping he gets
Richarlison
rested
starting.
tomorrow.
Um,
But
But-
talk about another thing too, is Spence. When he came
Oh.
on,
Yeah.
I felt like the 10 minutes that he was on, whatever it was, he did non-stop run.
Did
He
you
won
see
it
that
under-
run he made? Did you see that
Yeah.
run he made? Hoiberg
Yeah.
should have played it straight to him. He would have been in.
Yeah.
I think he,
He
would have
was
been
there,
in.
yeah. He's
But-
there pointing, telling players where to go. Like, he was taking control of that role, and it was good to see from a young
He's
bloke
hungry.
like that.
He's hungry.
It's
I
good
do-
to see what he can be like when he's at full stride.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like
In the
Hoiberg
mid-season.
fucked that up because
Yeah, big
Spencer's
time.
not strong on his left. So
No.
Spencer's running his right angle to get onto his favored
Yeah.
foot, and Hoiberg rolled it the other way. And Hoiberg's like, "What are you doing?" Like, he was never
Yeah.
running that way. He was never going to cut back in and try and outpace him. He was going to go out on the wide, and
Yeah.
then come running at the goalkeeper and then roll it back into the middle. Like, that's what's always going to happen.
Yeah.
Because Cess was
Absolutely.
on the other side, and no one remembers that Spence and Cess have both played on both wings
Yeah.
for England.
Yeah.
So they know each other, and he said he knew Cess from the England setup. So for
Yeah.
me, I'm like, okay, Conte's got this thing where he's like, okay, well, these two know each other. We, wing back to wing back, like Trent
Yeah.
to Andrew
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Robertson.
Yeah.
That's the partnership I feel like maybe we can develop. Obviously, Spence is no Trent, and Sess is no Robertson. So it's not going to be that good. But I feel like that's the mindset that they have, and they play together. So if they're both bombing on, and they're breaking through the line, and they're quick as fuck.
Both very quick. They are both very quick.
They are. That's one thing I'm going to say. It's good.
Line as well. Højbjerg just didn't even look at him. He had his eyes set where he wanted to go, and Spence was off. You could see it from when Højbjerg got the ball.
So
he made that run. He made that run straight in between two defenders. He was off. If he played that ball to him, I think he would have won it, and he would score.
And you know what?
Højbjerg, though, he always goes Kulu. Kulu's left foot. That's why he probably went left foot, because Kulu can always go off his left.
Højbjerg's got a preference, and that's what it is.
Well, I feel like that's a good little thing we have where if we do start playing Perisic and Royal early, and then teams are tiring, you bring on Sesh, you bring on Spence, and have them run at them.
Yeah.
Well,
and just
Sesh needs to run at them, but Spence was running, and I'm like, if we can get them both against tired defenders, like Chelsea, right? They lost this morning to Southampton. The biggest thing they're all talking about now is how slow their back three is, and I said that in the watch how slow they are. And that's why Richarlison, Kane had so much more space, was because they were like, shit, Richarlison's got pace. Son's not like been marked out the game, but Richarlison's come on, and we got to make sure we're marking him, because if we don't, he's going to go past the line and we're off. And that's where I feel like teams like Chelsea, who have no quick centre back, are going to be fucked when those boys come on. And if I was those boys, I'd be taking that and going, okay, we can bang a couple of goals in here and rip defenses in the last 20 minutes. And if that's our role for the season, and they both can learn from Perisic, because Perisic, even Royal, Perisic is like the model wing back that we should have. Yes, he's 33. I still think he's a banger. He can cross both feet. He's not as quick, but the techie he's got, that little step over he did. And he's not scared, and that's where I think these boys, Sess especially, needs to learn not to be
all
scared.
The young ones, all the young boys.
It's just a good experience he's got to bring to the game. Like, he knows the roles, he knows when to press, when to. You see him holding on to his opposite side at the same time. It was like a battle with them, but his little smirks here and there, like he knew what he was controlling that side. He was 100%. And like you can see, he's looking into the middle. He's looking up top. He can see when the boys are making a run, and he's pressing well. And which I think the younger boys will learn a lot from him. And his set pieces too, both feet. Oh, that's what we've needed. We've been lacking that, to be fair. Son's always the one taking the corners. Well, at the moment, no. Sorry, step back for a second. Give Perisic a go.
But Son was taking a few on the weekend over more than Perisic.
Yeah. But it didn't work though.
But I think with Spence, Sess, Kulu, Son, and even Richarlison with Spence, and then Sess and Son and Kane in the back end of a game would be filth, because we're going to have 3 speed, 4 speed, and then Kane's got 4 people to feed. So does, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty nasty. Like, you're breaking the lines.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's where I think we'll get to eventually. It's just getting those players up to speed.
Which is exciting.
Before we move on, though, to the West Ham preview, because it's not going to be a long one today, I do want to point out that Forest are going to be a very hard team to beat, and they played. I think they played like I'd say between the 10 and 15th spot Premier League team. I know they've bought a lot of players, but Dennis, when he came on, his movement, he was so obviously he played at Watford last year. We all know what he can do. They've got a lot of good players. Gibbs White played really well. I felt like he was their better player. Lingard didn't really do much.
No, he got controlled.
I feel like he was quiet the whole game. But they are a good team, and it is a good 2 points, because a lot of teams are going to go up there and they're going to draw or they're going to lose. It's a tough place to go. The Forest fans are, you saw them; they were going off with the penalty save, Henderson flapping his, which I find funny that he did that, because then Kane got him back. But the crowd's crazy up there. They're loyal fans. Forest are a big club. European winners. People seem to forget that sometimes. They've won a European Cup. And it's going to be very hard to go up there and win. So I'm actually I think it's going to be one of the harder teams to beat. They're going to be really hard to beat at home, and probably fairly easy to beat away. So, Now
That's
we're going to
all right.
move on to the West Ham game. So West Ham tomorrow morning, and I'm fairly confident, boys. I'm going to go on a tangent
Yeah,
here and
so
say
am
that
I.
I'm fairly confident. They haven't played very well. I know they've just bought Paqueta, who
Yeah.
Arsenal were looking at buying.
Mm.
I mean, they've bought a lot of players, but they're just not playing well. They
No.
lost. I think they lost again. I think they lost
They've
again
only, they've
against.
only, they've only won one game. They've only scored,
Yeah.
what, 2 goals
Yeah,
in
they
4
lost.
games. I think
I
they
don't
won on the
know.
weekend.
No, oh yeah, I think they beat Villa 1-0, didn't
Yeah,
they?
they beat Villa 1-0, I think,
Yeah,
yeah.
with a lucky goal, but a good
Yeah,
goal.
yeah, for hours, which was a massive deflection. So they've only
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
got their first win. I
yeah,
feel like they're the
Mm.
weakest London team at the moment. Fulham are looking really, really good.
Yep.
Well, sorry, I should say really, really solid. But it could be that
Yeah,
new promoted
Mitrovic.
team bounce. Mitrovic is on fire.
Oh,
Um, even Zaha's 4 goals already.
yeah.
It's him, Kane,
He's looking good.
and Mitrovic on 4. So,
Yeah,
mm.
um, but the West Ham game, it's back to the West Ham game. I think it's got to be a win.
has to be.
If we win this and we win against Fulham, regardless of the result against Man City, I'm with the bogey team against Man City, but I'm touting. I think it would be a great 6-game start. Obviously,
Yep.
tomorrow's the 5th game of the season. I know Arsenal are flying at the moment, 4 in a row. Probably can beat Villa tomorrow, so probably 5. I think they're at home.
Yeah, they are at home.
But West Ham aren't playing well at all. They lost to Forest last week. Henderson saved the Rice penalty. Defensively, they're just really bad. It's just Villa were worse yesterday. I'm predicting a 3-1. I think we will leak a goal. I feel like Antonio loves playing against us. So if he's playing, he'll score a goal somewhere. He just loves to score against us. But I think it's a comfortable 3-1. And if Richie starts, I'm going for a Richie goal. I'm going for a Kane goal. And then I think I'm going to go for a Sonny goal. I think if Sonny comes
I
on,
reckon Sonny might get rested tomorrow.
yeah, but I think he'll come on in the
I
back
think
end, especially if
yeah.
we're 2-1. I think Conte
Yeah.
will go out there and score and get your season started.
Change.
What about you boys? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm. You know what? I sort of agree with you there, but it's still going to be one of those games of hammers. You know what it is. When we play West Ham, it's always like it's sort of iffy. Like I know at the moment we could smash it. I think we can. I'm looking at maybe a 3-0. Yes, Antonio, yeah, he does look good against us all the time, but the way the Hammers are now, I can't see them putting it on as well as our defense. Like they're looking quite solid, better than last season. But yeah, I think Richie should get a start. Son should come on as Antonio does, brings them on at the later end, the 68th or the 60th minute. I still think he needs to play. Don't rest him the whole game because that's just going to keep bringing him down and down and down.
Yeah.
It's not going to make him feel like he wants to play.
Mm.
Which Son, he does deserve to play. But yeah, 3-0. I'm comfortable with 3-0. That's what I think, to be honest. That's what I think. The way Hammers have gone lately, I don't think it's going to be like a run over. It's still going to be a hard game, but I'm confident with 3-0. It'll be a quick
Yeah,
start.
look, I'm going 2-0. Just because I don't think we'll get that third goal. I think, or we won't get a goal. I reckon we'll get a goal late in the first half and then get a goal early second, and that will be it. We won't push anymore. I'm going Sonny will score first. I reckon Sonny might start. He might even put Kulu on the bench, get Richie on the right side, and have those 3 up front and see what they can do. Give Sonny that extra backup from Richie, who can do assist while Kane drops back, and let Kane feed Richie to Richie feed Son in the goal. And I reckon we could get a goal from there. And then after that, I reckon Kane's gonna bang one. And yeah, look, 2-0 is my perspective on that game. I'd like to go more, but we used to ask Spurs running when we go against shit teams. We play like dog shit. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's hard to pick it. It's the Spursy way.
No, you're not wrong. But I think this season's proved that even though we're playing bad, we're somehow, in some way,
Making it
changing,
look good. Yeah.
slowly changing if we're not playing good, we pretty much lose. Now, I'm not saying it's completely changed. We could go we can go the next 2 games or 3 games if you include the Marseille match, which we're meant to win. We could get smashed like last year when we were in the Conference League and got beat by Mura. It's this team has it in them, but I think the Conte mentality is what's starting. I don't think it's taken over yet. I feel like there's points in the game where we start to retract to Nuno, Mourinho, even late Poch, where we don't have that confidence. We want to be safe. But the thing is, what I like is we don't change from the system, but I feel like sometimes that also does inhibit us in scoring more. I feel like we're going away to Hammers, so this is where we play counter attack because they're going to come at us, especially West Ham. They all know everyone's going to be up for it. So this is the perfect game, just like the Liverpool game and the Man City game will be, because they're not going to be scared. Well, West Ham might be a bit janky about us, but they're going to have the whole crowd, going to it's the Olympic Stadium now, but if it was Upton Park, it would have been roaring. It would have been, it's a hard place to go, especially as it's their cup final for them tomorrow. It's going to be the biggest game of their calendar year, so they're going to come out. Antonio knows it, but the thing is I feel like with the system and with the players and the more experienced players, Perisic, Basuma might even get a start to rest one of the boys in the middle. I think he actually might be out. I think he might start against Fulham purely because I think he'll start the 2 normal and then go and switch up on the Fulham game where we get the changes where Richarlison, Basuma, even Spence might start. I feel like that'll be what he does, just to break it up before the midweek game, the Champions League game, and then we obviously have City after that. But I think it's going to be a very tough game. I feel like we need to go there and we need to just play to the system, don't play to the occasion, because
play Spurs football.
With the way that we go, we got a couple of fiery. If Romero's back, I don't know if he's back yet, but if he is back, he's a bit fiery. We could get a red card. Richie, they're going to come out and try and piss him off if he starts because of the shit that happened last week. But the thing about Richarlison is he doesn't bite as much as they think he will. He's fiery, but what he does is he aggies people, and then he's like, oh, okay. And then they come at him, and he's like, well, I didn't do anything. And they're like, then they get the yellow, and he's like, you're an idiot. Like, I've just rolled you up. And that's what that showboating everyone's been rolled up about it. It's a couple of juggles. It looks like a knobhead for doing it. But at the end of the day, like,
the confidence is there, bro. The confidence.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought, Brad. You know what?
He wasn't even worried about that. So you know what? I'm happy to see that in a game where a Spurs player can have confidence like that.
Yeah. I like that.
What we need.
That
brings the team. That gets fire in the team.
Yeah, and what annoys me is fans come out and say, I hate Richarlison. I don't like the fact that he was on the ground and he was whinging. Yeah, look, I was saying it on the watch along. I hate it when players dive. I love rugby league. I see guys get smashed, and I sit there and watch football players roll around on the ground like they've been shot, and it annoys me. But the thing is, the best teams in the world have these type of players. Neymar, one of the best in the world, is the biggest diver, the biggest flop in the world. You can't deny his talent. You can't deny his ability. Yes, it's annoying, but I could deal with that. If we bought Neymar tomorrow, I could deal with that shit if he's playing like Neymar at Barcelona.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. Not saying Richarlison's anywhere near Neymar's level, but that's what I'm saying. Those type of players, every team has them.
But it's confidence like that.
If that was Ronaldo doing that, if Ronaldo was doing that for Man U,
there'd be people wanking off bloody Twitter.
He's back. Ronaldo's back. You know what I mean? But because Richarlison done it, he hasn't got a big name like Ronaldo.
What if Jesus did it for the Gunners? Best player in the world, best striker in the Prem.
Look at Edgar Davids when he played for Spurs. He wasn't just that runner. And Edgar Davids is known for his silky plays. You would know, Jay, and you would know too.
Ronaldinho as well.
Ronaldinho, exactly. And it's just... Listen to Carragher saying what he said about it. And I like how Richarlison come back and said it. Should have just spat.
Yeah, would you rather be spit on the ball?
Exactly. Exactly.
That's mega troll.
And I even said to you both boys, because stuff happened when I couldn't watch the game. And anyway, But I both said to you, like, I thought that was a silky play. Like, you know what? It's like bringing FIFA Street to the game. I love it.
Yeah,
If you're gonna
we
do
need,
that,
we
do
need
it.
that in our squad. We can't just
Look
be
at
all like,
Bergwijn last year,
Mm.
down the sideline.
Oh, that little silky
You know,
touch he did down the wing, and
like,
no
that
one
was-
saw it. It was
no
like he
one said-
matrixed the ball.
Exactly, yeah, and no
Mm.
one said nothing.
Fuck.
You know that to me, that's football. Like that's technique.
yeah,
That's
but we
showing
can't
the
always be
player.
like we can't always be like Australia 180. Like we got to have that
No.
creativity, all that
Play
in a team
football.
because if we just play your own football,
Play
you're
football.
confident, do
Play
it,
like
it
you do on
worked.
the weekend. Play like you do on the
Exactly right.
streets. That's
It
playing
worked.
football. It's
Well,
not
look what
playing-
happened.
He did get clapped. I'll give him that. He
Oh,
got
but, yeah, but look what
slapped.
happened. 2 minutes, 3 minutes later, we score because
Yeah.
they clattered into him, got a yellow.
Mm.
Then we got the corner off it.
Yeah,
Ball went
And
in.
then-
Ball came back out. No one was watching the ball. Kane thought
No.
it was Richie's like,
yeah.
I'm getting the ball. Pushed
But he
off the
hits
fucking
it.
right back.
I must
hit
it
admit,
from
Kane
outside
held
of
that
his
position well,
Kane
man.
didn't even realize the ball was coming in until it was mid. Then he's like, "Oh yeah, sweet, bang!" Like Richarlison had, he switched on, and that's he's like he's like a little Chihuahua dog, where he's that little mutt that's just gonna keep sniffing the ball out and chasing it, and he's gonna niggle people, and he's gonna bite at your ankles, and he's gonna piss you off, and then when
That
you
brings
smack it,
experience to the streets
people
and
are gonna blame
wisdom.
you for hitting a small dog. He's got that dog in him, and that's what we need. We can't always be a squeaky bum team.
No
You've always
way.
got to have that one player. Look at Joey Barton.
Yeah,
Everyone hated him, but the managers bought him, and he went to Man City because he had that. He could piss off people, and obviously red card. You don't want that far to go. Like, you don't want to go that far. But he had that little niggle. He'd piss people off. He'd start fights, and he just caused mayhem in people's heads, and that's what Richarlison did. He pissed them off. They went for him, got a yellow, and then he's like, "All right," and then he just walked it off like it was like, "Cool." He didn't get up and try and fight.
yeah.
It was
It
a
goes
moment
back to
that-
what Brad said about in the Wolves game about Richarlison. You know how we're talking halfway through the game, and Brad said, "I want to bring Richarlison on. He's got that hunger. He looks angry on the ball. You know, he wants to play football, and he showed it again on the weekend. You know, and he
look,
did.
He
And it's
he
exciting
needs-
to watch it.
As
Yeah.
sad as it is, I reckon, as I feel, in my eyes, I'd drop Kulu to the bench
No.
and play. And
Why?
I'd drop Kulu, let Kulu, like just for this game
Why would
tomorrow. Because, like I said, let Son and Kane, Richie can assist Son. They'll score. Could you imagine it if them three were on point tomorrow? It'd
I
be
just
like
think
9
you take
0
away ball player though. If you
Yeah.
take off a Gula, you take off a ball player that.
But
And the
then
thing
you
is,
put Bazuma in the middle because Benton Call's not there.
I mean,
even
look,
so,
we
I
can.
wouldn't take him off.
That's not
I-
a bad
I
thing
would.
because they are quick. It would all it would mean would if I was Conte, I'd say Kane,
The counter
drop
would
in-
be.
you drop into number 10.
Yeah.
I'd start Spence. It sounds stupid, but if we're going to
Yeah.
play it like that, you start
The
Spence,
counter would be dirty.
you start Cess, and go Kane. You drop into the mid, and
And
four
go.
of you just run.
Bomb on.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to happen. I think
No, he
no.
won't. He
I
won't.
think it's going to Kula's going to play. Sonny will play. I feel like Richie's going to get Fulham because Champions League. I think Conte's thinking Champions League. We need to start well.
Yeah.
And then I think if we go and go to halftime, he'll bring Sonny off, put Richie on to tear up Marseille, and then Sonny will start at City. But it's getting close to finishing time, boys. But there's a couple of things. Harry Winks has signed on loan with an option to buy for Sampdoria. Is it Sampdoria?
Someone over there.
Pretty sure it is
Yeah, it did
Sampdoria.
run,
You know what?
Italy.
That's Winksy was good. His heart was always Spurs, but it always was time to move
Yeah,
on a couple of
Sampdoria,
seasons
yeah.
ago.
He needs time away. You're right. He needs time
He-
away. He needs,
never
he
know,
needs
he
minutes.
might go-
He needs
he might-
minutes.
yeah.
That's what he needs.
Yeah, he might find something over there and
He's
come
not
back
fitting
and
in with top
even Regulion's gone to Atletico.
Regulon's
Yeah.
got Atletico, so
back for- on the loan.
That's
But I
2 players.
yeah,
Well,
I don't
Giovanni's gone
see
too,
it.
isn't he?
Yeah, he went ages ago.
Yeah.
I don't see us linked with anybody else, but is the
No, I
transfer
don't-
deadline
no, but-
today? It's the 31st.
Yeah,
so it
but
should
Conte
be-
said he still wants 2 more plays in the next window
Oh,
to make
next
his team.
window, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I've
think I
seen
don't think
something
we'll be getting
today. I
anyone
don't
this
think-
window.
no.
Yeah.
I think it'll
No,
just
they,
be all
no,
the.
they extended it another week, bro. I think. I think they extended it an extra week. We were talking about it with Nene the other day. I think that's what he said. Because I haven't seen nothing on
it's going to
Facebook
be
yet.
closing at 11 o'clock, September 1st. So tomorrow.
Ooh, okay.
So that'll be.
I
We
thought
won't
we
be
were in
doing any
talks with someone
coverage.
from Atletico Madrid. I thought we were in talks with
Uh,
someone, or that fall through. Because I know he wants two more. He's saying he
I
wants two
seen that
more.
as well. Yeah, I seen that as well.
You
And
know, transfer
hey,
deadline day is tomorrow.
we're missing one big thing, boys. We just signed Romero off
On
loan now
off.
too, so his permanent 5-year contract. That had to be done. I'm glad
Big
that got done
sign.
early.
Big
Oh,
sign.
That
I
is,
think that was always going to happen. I think
yeah,
Romero is
yeah.
going to be our centre back
Without
for
a
a very
doubt.
long
yeah.
time.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
But anyway,
Paddy's gonna be
boys,
beast.
I think it's time
Yeah,
to
that's it.
wrap things up. So we won't be doing a watch along tomorrow for the West Ham game. We have to work, unfortunately. Some of us have a 4 a.m. bloody meeting. But we will be back for the Fulham game this weekend. Watch along live on YouTube
So
and
keen.
on Twitch. Also, we'll be doing a match review of the West Ham game and a preview for that game of Fulham over the weekend or before the match on the weekend. So be ready for that. And if you're watching, please like and subscribe to the channel. Go down to our link tree and hit all our socials up.
us up.
Any support helps. Share it to your friends and all your Tottenham
Thumbs up.
fans. And
Hit
catch
that
us
bell.
live on Sunday morning, 12 a.m. Australian Standard Time. And thank you, boys, for coming on at such a time
Cheers
before
for
we
a
should
good
be in
night,
bed.
Thanks
boys.
for having us, bro.
Cheers
Thanks
for a
for
good
having
chat.
us.
And to you guys out there, as always, stay Spursy.